All right, what I'm doing first is putting this in. I'm not replacing the bushing. Probably should, but don't want to deal with that right now. So got that in. I'm not going to snug that up just yet. And now I'm going to go ahead and put on the lower ball joint. They come with a new Zerk fitting. And you're going to go in these two outer holes on the bottom one. Could have probably done this before I put the arm in there. All right, the instructions say to tighten those to 20 to 25 foot-pounds. I'm going for 24 foot-pounds. Okay, I'd say those are good. I bought the bushings for these, but they're the wrong ones. So I'm gonna roll with these for a bit and see how it does. I know, should have probably replaced them, but I didn't. Snug up these nuts though. Go ahead and put in this top ball joint. So, okay, what do I torque a grade 8 3/8 by 24 bolt to?
For a grade 8 and 3/8 minus 24 fine thread bolt, torque 2, 35 pound-feet.
I know when you use an extension it changes things, but I'm using an extension. There we go, 35 foot-pounds. What I did on the other side was put this spring in at this point. And the way I did it is I used a normal spring compressor, but I used it inside where the shock goes. That's the only way I can figure out how to do it. So yeah, I've got the spring compressor going down through where the shock would normally go. Make sure that part's up there in the top. There. Now I get as much on as I can, and this part has to be about 90 degrees or parallel with the body center line of the car so that it fits. And I've got this on the back so that it pulls in the back side. So let's start pulling it in, see what happens. Anyway, now I'm coming in from the top up here. Right down through that hole with an extension. That's probably a little bit of overkill. And I've got the spring there like I want it, where I can compress it to the back. So I'm gonna get my little electric impact. I'm gonna bring that thing on in. A little bit more, I'm gonna put some oil up here where my socket is, just to kind of help that slip a little bit better. Let's go again. That's about right. Now what I did is I took the other part of the spring compressor and made me another tool. So what I'm doing now is I'm going to go on the outside of the upper, lock this onto there. I gotta come some more with that. No, maybe not. Good. Now I can compress the spring even more. I've got to put something here to keep my bottom from sliding. Let me go get a C-clamp. Before I get too carried away though, I got to get the steering knuckle in there. That's what I call it anyway. Temporarily. Now then, as I come up, I'll get this into there. I just need to make sure that's not going to slip off. So I'm going to put a C-clamp on it. I'm going to show you from this side what I got going on. So see, I have this here. I'm going to bring this on together with. Same way I did the other. I've got the spring hooked on the back there where it can't slip forward. Hopefully. Now then, looking pretty good now. Now then, my center thing is binding a little bit, so I gotta get that taken care of. It's pinched in the spring. What I gotta do is just tap it around. go. Okay. Got that loose and out. Now I just need to tighten these up a little bit. Now I'm going to remove my back compressor back there. There. Just got that out. Now I got to put in the sway arm. I don't really know the terminology for some of this. I do have a new bushing on it. The problem was getting those bolts lined up right here. So let's put the bottom on. Okay, I have a full nut of threads over there. So now I gotta get this in. And the way I did the other side is, I'll show you. Okay, I tied a ratchet strap to the front part of the frame there, or at least the wood that's holding to the frame. I'm gonna come down to that lower control arm and draw it toward the front. Still gotta go more. Perfect. So I got it going now. Okay, let me see if I can pull those in a little bit. Now I can release my ratchet strap. That's in. What I gotta do now is tighten this strut bar and tighten these nuts. All right, the instructions say to torque these ball joint nut from 55 to 60 foot-pounds. There it is, good enough. All right, I gotta put it in the grease arcs, but first I need to get that shock in there because I think that shock's gonna keep this from overextending so far as it is down here. Problem is gonna be getting this nut started. There's not enough weight on the car. Let's see here, how can I fix that? This all needs to come up. Let's see if I can figure out something, I'll come back. Okay, I didn't have the camera on, unfortunately, but the way I got the shock in there was it wouldn't protrude through the top up here enough to get the nuts on it. So what I did is I took the spring compressor and I hooked it underneath here into this. And I brought it in so it lifted this up. It brought this all up and brought it up enough for me to get the nuts on there. So that's how I did that. So now I've already had the rotor on, that's why there's already grease on here, but I took it off so that you could see it. This is a 1974 Mustang II rotor. It's thicker than the standard rotor that comes on the Pinto. So I had to modify the caliper holding bracket, and I'll show you what that was here in a minute. Some people shave this off or have it turned off, but I'll show you what I did. And I've already put a new seal in here and a new bearing. Now I just snug this up a little bit and then back it off about 1/8 of a turn or so. You don't feel any looseness in this, which I don't now. So then we'll put this on and you can turn it to where somewhere along there the holes will line up. Yep. On the caliper bracket, I took the bracket and I took a die grinder and took material away from these two faces here. And the reason you have to do that is because, like I said, this rotor is thicker and it rubs on this, or will actually lock up when you go to put this bracket on here. I don't know exactly how much material. I still feel like it's plenty good. I don't have any idea what these should torque to. I just tighten them up good. Okay, what I did by grinding down the caliper bracket was not the best thing to do. I should have had the rotors turned, and the reason for that is because now you cannot use a brand new set of pads with this because the rotor is thicker, and with the new pads, the caliper will not go on there. Fortunately, I have a used pair of pads somebody gave me, and they're in pretty dang good shape. They're almost new, so I'm gonna put those in there for now. So now then, to put the caliper in, these wires here, these little spring wires, need to wind up fitting into this area right here of the caliper. There's a little notch there that they're supposed to go into. The top should go in first, like that, and then the bottom. And then what you got to do is you got to take this little bracket. Now I've already put one of the cotter pins in. I may have put it in backwards, I don't know, but anyway, we got to put this into here, and you can take a screwdriver to help get yourself some space there to get it started. It's a little tricky. I've got it started. I'm going to use my hammer here, tap it in there. Now I got to put the cotter pin in the other side there, and it should be good to go. Well, now I have the brake line attached. What I got to do next is put in the rack and pinion with it. Well, I decided to disassemble the rack and pinion steering on this thing. This particular year, 1973, I think was the only year that they did this style. So they're very rare if you can find them. I took this one apart, and there's really not that much to it. I mean, I'm going to clean this thing up, make sure it's got some lubrication in it, and I'm going to reuse this thing. All right, I got it cleaned up. I messed the threads up a little bit, removing the inner tie rod ends on this thing. They have them pinned in place, and I didn't realize it. Anyway, I messed up the threads a little bit, so I wound up buying this die. It's a 1x20 die, and then I reran these threads on each end. It worked very good. So anyway, it's a 1x20. Now on each end, it gets one of these little things and a spring. And then this, I call it a lock nut. I don't know what everybody else calls it, but this goes on there. All right, I got both sides on. Those are not going anywhere. I found these boots on Amazon. They're universal boots that actually went a little bit, couple sizes larger, small enough to fit this rod right here. Now they sent zip ties, and they also sent some metal straps, but I don't have the fancy little tool for the metal strap, so we're going to use zip ties. Now I'm not going to put the outside one on because I believe to adjust everything I'm going to have to twist this rod. All right, I have new tie rod ends. This thing works pretty good. I mean, it's smooth, very smooth. Don't know where it'll have to be, but I'm going to start it with all the way in. Okay, I have the rack and pinion bolted in now. It went in pretty good, and it looks pretty good. I didn't show it, but I did pack the bearings on this thing. Both of them, the inner and the outer. It has a new seal on it. I've got to get some new caps for this. I have the tie rod in there just temporarily in place. I'm going to have to do some alignment on the front end because I got to rotate that shaft in order to adjust this in and out right here. Well, that's going to do it for this video. I really appreciate that you took the time to watch it this far. Maybe it's helpful to you in some way. Maybe it made you realize what you have to do if you're going to use 1974 Mustang II rotors. Anyway, until I see you again, I hope you have a great week, and may God bless you.